I've had quite a few people reach out to me and ask me how I changed my visor color. I have quite a few colors that I've created myself, and I've recently put them on my website. So today, let's change the color of this visor. All right, first thing you want to do is open a browser and go to bogeydope.net, click on DCS, and then free liveries. And scroll down to the bottom of this page and you'll see I've got colors for both the F-16 and the F-18 visors. We're going to use the 16 right now. Click here, and here is my collection of colors. All right, so let's just pick one, Arctic Sunset. We'll click on the image here, and that'll start the download. Click the folder to the right. Don't click Open File, just the folder. That'll take you to the Downloads folder. Right-click on Arctic Sunset and click Extract All. Then Extract, and that's going to create a new folder with the texture and the README file inside. Let's open up the README file. And in here, I show the location that you'll need to install that texture file. And then, of course, the additional lines that you'll need to add to the Lua file of whatever livery you install this on. Okay, so let's minimize this. Let's open up a new file browser. So right-click down here and click File Browser. Go to C Drive, Users, Your Username, Saved Games, DCS, Liveries, and then click on the aircraft that you're editing. So in this case, it's going to be the F-16. If you don't have this folder, you're going to need to create it. Inside this folder, you're going to have all of your custom liveries installed. Right now, these are the only liveries I have installed for the F-16. If you have others, you'll show them here. If you don't have anything in here, then you'll need to create a default folder. So right-click, New Folder, and name it Default, all lowercase, Default. And this means that you're only going to have a colored visor on the default Gambler's F-16 skin. So if that's not what you want, then you need to put in a livery that you like in here, and then you'll be able to add it, okay? Inside the default folder, you'll need to right-click, New Text Document, all right? And we're going to name this Description. And then this needs to be a Lua file because it's a text document. It's a .txt. We need to change it to a .lua. The problem is we can't see the extension. If that's the case, click View and check the box next to File Name Extensions, and now you can see the extension. We're going to change this extension. Click Rename and change that to .lua. Enter. Yes, I want to change it. Okay? That's a Lua file. If you open it up, there's nothing in there. Let's get this started. Livery equals open bracket, close bracket. Then bring the cursor over so it's in between the two brackets and hit enter 2 times. That'll give us space to put the livery Lua additions that we need to add. So let's go down to the README file. There it is. Right click, copy. Go in here, and inside these brackets, this open bracket and this close bracket, somewhere in here we need to paste those lines. Okay? And we're basically telling DCS to use this texture that's inside this folder for the visor glass. Click Save, then we can close this. Now where's the texture file? It's not there, right? So we're going to need to add that. Let's close this, and let's grab that texture file, right-click, copy, right-click, paste. All right, there it is. So now we have a Lua file that tells DCS for the pilot visor glass diffuse texture, use this texture file that is included inside the livery folder. If it's set to true, it's not going to use any texture files that are inside here. It's going to use all the texture files, the default texture files that are in the core installation of DCS. All right, so that's what true and false means. Close this. We have everything we need. Now, if you launch DCS, your default Gambler's skin is going to have this visor on the pilot. Let's demonstrate an actual custom livery that's already installed. So let's open up the 18th FS, same thing. Open up the description.lua, come down here, and you're making sure that you're within the open and closed brackets. So this is the open bracket for the livery portion of the Lua. This is all the Lua stuff for the livery. And then here's the closed bracket. So right here in the middle, we're going to throw that in there. So let's open up the README file again and copy this and paste it inside that closed bracket. All right, we can't put it out here, can't put it there, can't go down here in custom arguments. It needs to be within the open and closed bracket section of the liveries section of the Lua. Hope that makes sense. All right, we'll click Save, close that, and then we're going to right click here, click Copy, And we're going to paste this into the 18th FS livery folder. Click paste, and there it is. All right, so now we'll have the visor on the default Gambler's skin, and we'll also have the visor on the 18th FS pre-2008 skin, but we will not have it on the flagship skin. So if we change the livery to the flagships, it'll be the regular gray visor. Let's start DCS. All right, here we are in the sim. Hit F4, and then use the WASD keys and Q and E to go up and down to move the camera around. And you can see we have the regular gray-black lens, the default lens. And that is because we're using the wrong livery. This is not the default Gambler's livery or the 18th FS livery, right? So that's why that's not going to work. So let's change that. Backslash F8, F1 for the rearm refuel menu. Let's change the livery to default. There we go. That's the default Gambler's skin. And there's Arctic Sunset for our visor. Backslash F8, F1. And let's change it to Flagship 2006. You can see nothing. Flagship 2008, nothing. 18th FS, which is the one we edited. And there it is. It loads it. All right. Now to change the color, really simple. Let's go back to bogeydope.net. And let's click on, let's do Sunburst. All right, we'll download that. Click the folder, right click, extract all, extract, open up Sunburst, and let's bring up the livery folder again. Right here, there it is. And let's use the 18th FS. We'll open this up. Now remember, we already edited the Lua file. It's already telling DCS to use this texture with this name, Pilot F-16 Helmet Visor Glass DDS. Okay, this is the exact same name. All you need to do, right-click, copy, right-click, paste. Yes, replace the file. Launch DCS. Backslash F8, F1, and change that to the 18th FS.
Request rearming.
There we are. Sunburst. Easy as that. Let's do the F-18. Go to DCS, free liveries, scroll to the bottom, and we'll click the F-18 visor colors. And let's pick one here. Let's do Toxic C. Perfect. Open up the folder, right-click, extract all, extract, Toxic C, and let's open up that README file. Let's go back to the liveries folder, and we're going to need to create a folder because there is no F-18 folder, right? So there should be. If you already have liveries, you should have a folder here. If you don't, let's create it. So we're going to copy this. This is the name of the folder that you need to have, and it has to be this name. Exactly like that. If it's not typed like that, it's not going to work. Open that up, just like we did with the F-16 default. We'll create another folder called default. Open that up, right-click, new text document description, just like the F-16. I forgot, we got to change the extension. Lua. Yes. Open that up. Livery. Space equals space. Open and close bracket. Do a couple enters there. And then let's open up that livery file. Livery README file. We're going to copy this. It's the same thing, but for the F-18. Paste. Save. Close. Go back into the Toxic C folder. Right-click. Copy on that texture file. Right-click. Paste inside the livery folder for the default F-18 Hornet skin. So again, this is only going to work for the default F-18 Hornet skin. Just like the F-16, it only works in the default. It only works on the Gambler's skin. And because I put it in the 18th FS, it works there as well. Like I said, I wish there was a way to do a default pilot texture, but there just isn't a way to do that. So this is all you got. You can replace the core texture, but then you're going to have to reload that every single time you update DCS. This is the only way to do it in a way that it is fairly permanent. Every time you update DCS, it doesn't do anything. You can still have your visors exactly where you wanted it. The cool thing about this is you can do different colors for different liveries. So you could do Arctic Sunset for this one, blue for this one, Sunburst for this one, or lithium for this one, you know. So each livery has its own visor color. It would be kind of cool. All right, let's load DCS and test out the F-18. All right, back in the sim. Backslash F8, F1, and let's make sure that we select the default because it's the only one we edited. If you go to any of these others, it's going to be the regular gray black skin for the visor. Default's the only one we were able to create, so there you go. So yeah, check out all the colors on my website, install them using the same procedure. Hopefully this was helpful. I'll see you guys.
Let's go.